So the fence over here, that runs, as I said, along that tree line. But then there's this other fence here that cuts across in that direction and cuts straight out over to our other perimeter. Makes this little triangle in there. It's just messy. So that's the one I'm going to pull out. All I need to do is go along, clip the pieces of tyre wire off. I've got a star picket remover, which I'll show you in a second. I'll pull the star pickets out, then I can start to roll that wire up and I'll bring it up. I'll get it put in here as the back fence. I'll be able to reuse the star pickets as well, so it's all going to work out very well. Reuse. It's quite a thick wire, but it's very, very soft, which is fantastic for tying off. Now this is the star picket remover. Fantastic little invention. It all works on the process of leverage. Basically what you want to do is you get your star picket in there, and then when you pull down, this will lock on just through friction, and then you can lift it up. For anyone that's ever tried to get star pickets out any other way, God, this is such a good way of doing it. So we pop that at the base down there, pop them on there, and she lifts up. Now there is obviously one more tie down the bottom because it's lifting the fence as well, so I need to find that. There you are, right there. Right, now we should be good. Nice, straight star picket without raising a sweat. Pulling it out. I'll keep moving along, get all these star pickets out. Well, as you can hear, that storm is coming in very early. It's 10:30 in the morning. That was not supposed to come in until around about 8 p.m. tonight. I just had a look at the rain radar and we've got some big storms on the way. Real big storms on the way. I'm not sure if that's showing up or not. I might do a screen recording off of the phone. I think I can do that and I'll just show you. But yeah, we've got massive storms coming through. So I think I need to start making some preparations. As you can hear too, the dogs barking. Flick especially does not like the thunder. Thor doesn't care. Hamish, Flick, it freaks him right out. Freya a little bit too, but Flick really goes off barking. So I got the little chickens out in the other run. The big chickens, they'll stay in their chicken coop. They're fine. They can go up into the house. But the little chickens, I think I might get them back inside because I think when that storm hits, it is going to hit hard. Great news is though, I'm going to fill up the water tank again. I mean, the water tank's only probably that far down from the top anyway. And my IBC down the bottom, it's pretty much empty because I emptied it the other day and brought that water up here. So there'll be 1,000 litres in that for sure. Anyway, I got all of the fence pickets pulled out, but I hadn't actually rolled up the fence. I'm going to go and get this prepped. And then I'll come back to doing the fence for as long as I can until that rain hits. Well, it's getting dark, temperature's dropping, you can hear that thunder's getting a whole lot louder. It's time to move inside. days I have been able to get very little done. I mean, that was a hell of a storm that we had, but since that storm it's either been well, I've had a few Christmas functions to go to, but pouring rain or really high winds. Obviously I'm not going to get much work done when it's pouring rain, and when it's really high winds I can get a bit of work done, as uncomfortable as it is, but really can't get a lot of filming done. So what I've managed to do so far, underneath the bucket there is the floor, 4 meters by 2 meters, the floor for the chicken coop. So I started getting that framework assembled. Now what I did was, I got that perfectly square. Well, it's a rectangle, but you know what I mean, as in all the diagonals, everything's correct. They're 90 degrees in each corner. That's what I'm trying to say. So anyway, what I then did was I drove it forwards and I put the pegs in the ground here to mark exactly where I need the stumps to go. So now that I've got those pegs in, I'll get the holes done. I'm going to get the stumps put in, and then I'll get the floor frame lifted up and placed on top and screwed down. Now once that's done, I'll then finish cladding the floorboards on there, because those boards are 1 inch thick, so that's going to add a fair bit of extra weight. So if I can get it onto the stumps first, I'll do that. Now when I say about screwing it on as well, I'll be screwing it from the outside in. I'll probably even put some metal brackets on or something, because I need to be able to later on take the floor off of the stumps. I will end up pulling the stumps out of the ground as well, but if I go nailing all those floorboards down and I've screwed it from the inside, I'm screwed. Literally, I cannot get the floor off the stumps, so I need to do that from the outside. Anyway, I'm now going to start putting some holes in. I'm doing it the manual way. I'm not going to be doing it with the post hole digger on the back, because it does a fairly large hole. So I've got a post hole digger that has a 200 mil radius. So I cut my logs out of a big section of log, right where it was about 200 millimeter diameter across the logs as well, so they should fit in snugly. So I'll just be doing them with the man. Now up here there's pretty much very little rock. We did encounter a few rocks when we were drilling the holes for the house, which is just behind here, but you know, there's no tree roots. The soil's pretty soft. We've had all that rain too, so I shouldn't have any problem digging those holes, so I'll get on with it.
Getting through that thick layer of grass was the tough part, but once I was through that, the soil itself was quite easy to dig through.
See how soft that soil is. It's just coming straight out. It won't even pick out. I'll have to scoop it out. I'll go get a small shovel. Well, that wind doesn't let up any. As you can see, I've got the posts in. They're all different heights, of course. There was a reason behind that. Basically, the slope of the ground, the holes are going to be different depths. I really didn't want to try and get any accurate measurements. I thought, you know what, I'll just pop all the stumps in, then I'm going to use a string line, because I still haven't set up a water level yet. So I'll use a string line with a little spirit level that hangs on that, and I will mark them all off the exact same height, then cut them all off with a chainsaw, so that then I've got all the posts dead level. Then I can go and get the tractor and I can bring the floor framework in, sit it on top, bolt it down, and then I'll continue to put the floorboards on. Once the floorboards are on, then I've got to start making each wall. Once I've got all the walls made, then I will actually use the tractor to lift them up, put them into position. On a day that's less windy than today, I'll get it all bolted together and then we'll get the roof on it. So I'll go grab the spirit level for this string and then we'll measure this out. place. Now, I know when I first cut them, they looked so crooked, like nothing looked like it lined up. I then went and measured it with, I did find a piece of clear pipe and I measured it. I also had a big long, it's actually like a big drawbar for leveling sand for paving and that, but it's over 2 meters long, and I put a spirit level on that and I checked that. and everything looked pretty close and nowhere near to the distance it was. I thought, oh, that's all right, I'll just pack up one or two little spots with some packers. Well, as it worked out, the front one here and out there on the end, those two, this is technically the back by the way, but yeah, on the edges closest to us, I had to pack it out by like that much. So I don't know how I got that so wrong, considering that all the other measurements looked great. Anyway, now I can put the spirit level on that top beam and I've got it level in all directions. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but the very center one, I had to put a packer under that too, but that was my own mistake in that the cross beams are actually not as deep, they're shallower than the outside beams, hence there was a gap because I had them all pretty much level. So anyway, it's up there, I've packed it. Now all I got to do is I've got some like L brackets and I'll screw it into the frame and down into the log like that. So I'll get that framework screwed on and then I'll get the nail gun and the compressor out and I'll start getting more of these planks on. We'll get this floor finished in the next hour or so. And the floor is finished. I didn't get it finished yesterday because the wind was just driving me insane and I was a couple of boards short. So today it's a much nicer day. Got the last couple of boards done and now they're in. And to give you an idea of the fall of the land here, you can see that's the floor there. Check out this. And that's the floor down at this end, the lowest corner. But this floor's great. Nice and sturdy. So the camera battery died just as I was explaining about the fact that I had finished building the floor for the coop. So I went and put the battery on charge and I continued working and got one of the side walls built yesterday afternoon before I wrapped that up for the day. So this afternoon I'll get stuck into another wall, but that won't be on this video. That'll be on the next video because I'm going to wrap the video up here. Just a couple of little things. You know, living on the land like this, you know, you have to take the good with the bad, the flood and the drought, the birth and the death. Those little swallows, they actually fledged. So this is a little bit of video of one of them. You can see it's still got the little white mark around its mouth, which the babies have. Anyway, yeah, they just fledged today. I had meant to get film of them in the nest as they grew and time just got away from me and next thing I knew they were gone. So 3 babies they ended up raising and they've flown off, so that's really good. On the downside of things, those 10 chickens that we raised, we lost one of those. I noticed a couple of days ago that there was a bit of blood in some of the chicken poops. So we rung up the lady that we bought the eggs from, because she's a breeder, she knows all about all sorts of stuff. Said, hey, what could this be? And she said, chances are she reckons it's something called coccidiosis, which is a parasite, and they just pick it up from, most birds in the wild, and that would have it. And so obviously, our birds, we like them to be out getting some sunshine and on the grass and that sort of thing, so they've obviously just picked it up out of the ground. Interestingly, that parasite, in the right conditions, can live for up to 4 years outside of a bird's body, and cats and dogs apparently can get it as well. I don't believe humans can. But anyway, the treatment was you get a powder and you put it into their water every day. Like, you got to mix up fresh water every day for a couple of weeks and get on top of it. So we did that the very next morning, because I only found it in the evening. So we went out that evening, we got the powder and mixed it up into the water the next morning. But that morning we found that this little chicken, which we used to call Fluffy Cheeks, and you can see why, yeah, she passed away. So we lost that chicken. So that was our first, our first death of any of our animals, and I'm sure it won't be the last. That's just life on the land, and well, there's going to be plenty more of those chickens that do meet their end, because they're going to end up in the pot. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Like I said, tune in next week and we'll get the rest of these walls built and start to get this put together. Looking forward to that and getting the chickens out of the house and actually in the run. So until then, stay safe, have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys next Friday. Cheers.